actually a lot of slides, but I don't want to show slides. So the balance of bacteria, what Dr. Sunita said, is very important. This happened to me when I was practicing as a houseman in Mumbai, where we were treating a lot of HIV patients and patients post-cancer, radiation, chemotherapy, people who had colon resections, hemicolectomies. At that time, this probiotic thing was new. I started giving them a lot of probiotics to repopulate the gut, because we used to give them before surgery some heavy antibiotics, some even who were HIV positive, vancomycin, and other antibiotics that were as potent as vancomycin. And in most of these cases, most of these people, I gave them a very heavy dose, and they ended up with some other infection. Most of them got some lung infections, some got septicemia, and unfortunately, we lost many of them. This is when, at that time, we did not understand the difference between the balance. The balance of the bacteria in your gut is much more important than saying, oh, I'm taking this bacteria, I'm taking that bacteria. And from where this balance starts, this balance actually starts in the soil. If you see today, we're living in a tropical country over here, but the food that you eat, that is grown, it's a monoculture. What do I mean by monoculture? The same land, you keep on cultivating a particular crop. You keep on cultivating a particular food. Then you plow that land. When you plow that land, you destroy the microbiome of the soil. And why is this microbiome of the soil so important? It is because this microbiome of the soil combines with the roots of these plants, and underneath the soil there is a mycelium network, or a network of fungi or mycelium that talk to each other. And how do they talk? They talk the language of chemistry. They try and convert your inorganic compounds to organic compounds. That's why today you have so many people deficient in magnesium, deficient in iron, deficient in all these things. But from where all these things come? They come from the soil. Now if you see our country, which is Indonesia, it has a lot of volcanic soil. Volcanic soil is actually one of the richest soils in the world. But why do you suffer from mineral deficiency? Because the microbiome where the thing is grown is actually broken up. When it is broken up, that magnesium is not picked up and converted into the right magnesium that your body can absorb. So people ask me, what magnesium shall I take? What calcium? You have not debate. Everybody talks about this magnesium is good or this thing is good. If you have a phone, I think most of you own a phone, a smartphone, please Google structure of hemoglobin and structure of chlorophyll. Please Google structure of hemoglobin and structure of chlorophyll. And you see, it's absolutely the same. The difference is the central molecule. The central molecule of hemoglobin is iron, and the central molecule of chlorophyll is magnesium. Now, how many people with anemia actually need magnesium? And how do you know that magnesium you're giving is absorbed? So the best thing to do is anybody who has iron deficiency, anemia, or some other, not iron deficiency, anemia linked to something else, ask them to have a bunch of green juice. second thing, it's been very hot. The heat wave, now this heat wave is touching 50 degrees in most countries. And if you touch the soil at 50 degrees, most of the bacteria are finished. But if you have a place where you're growing grass or you're growing some other plants which is not a soil which is not tilled, and you touch that soil, you'll be able to walk on it in the afternoon. But on soil without cover, you'll never be able to walk because it's so hot. It's going to burn your feet. In the same way, this soil destroys the heat from the sun, and the UV destroys the microbiome underneath because all the moisture is out. Coming back again to this, when a lot of people talk about juicing diets, and they give you a lot of fiber, and they say, oh, this is good for your gut. Now, this fiber has to be digested. Most of this fiber falls in prebiotic. There is something called acacia gum or agave acacia arabica, which contains a lot of amino complexes. Now, for this to be digested, you need the right bacteria. So before you decide to have any fiber, please note fiber is divided into 4 categories: soluble, fermentable, soluble, unfermentable fiber. Okay? Soluble, fermentable fiber is fiber that can be dissolved in juice or in a plant extract, and it can ferment. Soluble, unfermentable is fiber that can be dissolved but cannot be fermented easily. That is why the cows and buffaloes, the other animals, have a ruminating stomach. And people confuse that. Humans also ferment in their gut because we have a long, small intestine. So soluble, fermentable fiber is what you need. Insoluble fiber, there is this psyllium husk or isargol. A lot of people say, oh, I have constipation, I take psyllium husk. Now, this psyllium husk is insoluble, unfermentable fiber. Now, insoluble, unfermentable fiber causes a lot of gas, bloating of the intestine. So, if you have a patient, they say, oh, doctor, I'm eating fiber, but still I get bloating. They're eating the wrong type of fiber. You have to just change the type of fiber and they'll be fine. Thirdly, what I want to stress on this probiotic is fermentation of foods. You have pickles. Pickles are a natural way of fermentation. Now, when you talk about fermentation, there are 3 main types. The first type of fermentation is our yeast fermentation, which we know, which converts carbohydrate into ethanol or alcohol, that everybody knows. To make beer, wine, that's what it is. The second type of fermentation is acidophilus fermentation, which converts this alcohol into vinegar, where you take lactobacillus. Now, maybe you get this lactobacillus acidophilus. It's present in the air. It's a commensal of the air. It's a commensal of the lung. So when you pump air through vinegar, it becomes vino, becomes wine. Sorry, everyone is sleeping. When you pump air through wine, it becomes vino. Not the other way around. And the third type is lactofermentation. Now, what is this lactofermentation? You have these pickles which are for you take carrots or you have fermented olives, fermented carrots, fermented chilies. This is fermented with lactobacilli. Now, lactofermentation basically is one of the most strongest type of fermentation to break down cellulose. And this produces one of your best prebiotics. So if you can't, I say health is free. Sickness costs money. Health is free. Sickness costs money. If you say, okay, I don't want to buy this expensive gum, Arabica, so whatever it is, and I don't want to spend money on capsules, ferment root vegetables, carrots, garlic, beetroot, with lactobacilli. How do you get it? Just buy any pickle that is available, add one carrot to that. It will have good amount of lactobacilli. That will make the best prebiotic. Coming to prebiotic, probiotic, and postbiotic. All of us in this room have something to do with integrated medicine or this so-called system of medicine, right? Now tell me, we all believe in herbs, but why is the FDA or the so-called drug agencies not approving any herb as a drug? Why? It's because of the bacteria of the microbiome. The microbiome is the cause. I'll tell you why. When you take a paracetamol, I can test the level of paracetamol in your blood, right? When you eat rice, can I test the level of rice in your blood? When you eat something else, fish, can I test the level of fish in your blood? No. Why is it? Because whatever you eat is eaten by the bacteria inside you. And these bacteria produce metabolites. And these metabolites come into your blood. Now everyone has different types of bacteria. So everyone has different types of metabolites. So every metabolite cannot be tested. You can't have a standardized. That's why for some people, 2 capsules may work, whereas some people 4 capsules may work. The dose is different. And for some people, if he takes a lot of capsules also, it will not work. Because he doesn't have the right bacteria to break it down. Again, in the bacteria, there is genus, species, and strain. That's what Dr. Sunita talked about. And now every strain also produces a different metabolite. It's like the orchid flowers. You just can't say orchid. You have 1,000 types of orchids available. Mango, there are 1,000 types of mango available. So same way, if I say Bacillus bifidobacterium or Lactobacillus plantarum, there are thousands of Lactobacillus plantarums available. Now yours is different, everybody's is different. Again, the way you cook food. If you see a dentition, we have a very nice talk about dentition. I have been pondering on this thought since many years. Carnivores. Are humans carnivores or are humans omnivores or are humans herbivores? Our dentition doesn't fit into anything. We don't have canines that we can tear off flesh. We can't chew fruits. The teeth will break. Very few fruits you can eat after they are ripened. We have dentition designed to eat fermented foods. That is the reason also why humans like alcohol. Because when a fruit is fermented, what does it form? Sugars in the fruit. When the fruit gets ripened, how does the fruit get ripened? There is something feed the fruit with nutrition, they get blocked or they get sclerosed. You have arteriosclerosis of the stem of the fruit. In that, certain chemical reactions happen, and the sugars, okay, the sugars get more concentrated because sugar molecules are big, so they can't come out and go to other parts. And that sugar gets concentrated and concentrated. That's what gives you the sweetness in the fruit. Now, if you keep that fruit for a longer period of time, that fruit automatically ferments. And that fermentation of that sugar will cause a small amount of alcohol in that fruit. Every fermented fruit has a small amount, maybe 0.1, 0.2 or 1% alcohol. And this is what we are designed to eat. We are designed to eat fermented foods. And our brain is strict into that we have too much of alcohol. So what do you feel? You feel good, that feel good factor. So that why not a horse eat alcohol? Or drink alcohol? Because the horse doesn't like it. Its brain is not programmed. The human brain is programmed that okay, it's getting good feedback mechanism. So for prebiotics, it's important to eat lacto-fermented foods. That's important. For probiotics, it's important to eat yeast-fermented and acido-fermented foods, acidobacterial fermented foods. That's why you have your vinegars. Apple cider vinegar. They say vinegar with the mother. You have pomegranate vinegar. Every fruit can be converted into a vinegar. That mother contains a lot of good probiotics. Those of you who are into teas, you have your fermented teas like kombucha. And I don't know how many of you make kombucha at home. You have something called the SUDI. That is symbiotic relationship between bacteria and yeast. That SUDI is a very good probiotic. So these is actually where you take off these probiotics from. And then in the lab, we purify them, prepare them, and sell them back to you at 10 times the cost, or 100 times the cost. So the best thing to do is to eat normal and good food. Coffee. You are in the land of coffee. One of the most delicacy coffees is the civet coffee. You all know that, right? From this land. Why? Half of it. Because you know how the civet excretes the coffee bean and then they pick it up. Now during that part, the coffee bean is also processed by the bacteria in the civet's intestine. And that releases certain enzymes. And that is also a very good drink. So, thank you for allowing me to speak and live a good life, eat good food, and be happy. Thank you. Namaste.
Thank you, Dr. Smita and Dr. Leroy. Please, Dr. Smita, come ahead. Please accept